Lovely, thank you. Good morning to the Philadelphia Fair Housing Commission. My name is Ali DeMedeiros, and I'm the attorney for the Fair Housing Commissioners. Okay, so I see two Mr. Kokotis now. Hi, sir. Okay.
Hello? Yeah, I'm here.
You're perfect. Thank you. Okay. So again, just saying hi. My name is Ali. I'm the attorney for the Fair Housing Commissioners. You'll also see the names Alexis Enlow. She's your case manager, and Jomaris Castro Almeida. She runs our Zoom hearings for us. Before we get started, I have to go over a couple things with you. First, you're being recorded. We record all our hearings. By remaining on the line and participating in the hearing, you are consenting to be recorded. Our Zoom hearings have the same force and effect as if we were in person. The only difference is on Zoom, we do not have a court reporter. In the event either party wants to appeal a final order of this commission, they can reach out to myself or the case manager, and we'll provide them with a copy of the video recording. Please be mindful of what you're saying and doing because it is being recorded. Second, at 9 o'clock this morning, commissioners and myself, the attorney, met in a private executive session to discuss today's cases. We do that on every hearing day with every single case. Third, the parties had the opportunity to submit documents. I have the submitted documents saved on my computer and can share them with everyone on the screen. Please keep in mind, just because you submitted something, it doesn't mean the commission's looked at it yet. They only generally review the very basic documents in a case prior to a hearing. If you want a document looked at by the commission, please reference it by a name, date, or description so that I can post it on the screen for everyone to look at the same time. Lastly, during the course of today's hearing, it might be necessary for the commissioners to speak privately to make decisions in this matter. If they need to do that, they're going to invite you to join separate rooms divided by party called breakout rooms. Prompts will come on your screen at the appropriate moment asking you if you would like to join a breakout room. We will direct you to click join when you see that prompt. Once in the breakout room, please remain in the room. We will never end a hearing when you are in a separate room. Please make sure you're back in this main room and that a commissioner or staff member dismisses you before you log off or hang up. Thank you very much for listening. With that, I am going to hand the case over to Miss Alexis.
The matter of Tina Ankrum versus Tina and Peter Kokotis. This is the first fair housing hearing for this matter. The docket number is 2025-02-07-19840. At this time, beginning with the tenant, can you please state and then spell your first and last name slowly and clearly for the record?
Tina Ankrum, CALTIENA, last name ANCRUM.
Thank you. Do you have anyone who will be testifying with you today?
No.
Okay. Landlords, can you please state and spell your first and last name clearly for the record?
Is it me?
You can go first. Sure.
Peter Kokotis, PeterKokotis.
Thank you. And Tina?
Yes, Tina Kokotis, TINAKOCOTIS.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to swear all the parties in. Can you please raise your right hands? Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. The commission has 3 rules for today's hearing. First, do not speak over or interrupt each other, and do not speak over or interrupt the commissioners. Each party will have an opportunity to give testimony and present evidence. Second, please do not use generic phrases such as he or she. When you refer to an individual, please use the tenant, the landlord, or their name to keep the record clear. And third, when giving a date, please give a complete date that includes the year each time. The commissioners present today are Commissioner Baez, Commissioner Brunson, and Commissioner Butler. Thank you.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. The process for today's hearing will be as follows. We will first hear testimony from the tenant. Then the landlord would have an opportunity to respond. For the tenant, can you please state the property address that we're here to discuss?
3850 Olive Street.
The full address, please.
Philadelphia, PA 19104.
Okay. And you filed this complaint on February the 7th, 2025. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when did you move into this property?
Maybe February or March of 2022.
Okay, and are you still living at the property?
I'm moving out as we speak.
Oh, you're moving out as we speak. Okay, when is your intended departure? When are you surrendering the property to the landlord?
Um, if not today, tomorrow, he can have the keys.
Okay. When you first moved into what is the monthly rent?
1150.
And when was the last time that rent was paid to the landlord?
November
November of what year?
2024.
Okay. And what have you done with the rent since November of 2024?
I put it into my account. I sent proof.
Okay. So then that means that you did not pay rent for the month of December of 2024, January 2025, February 2025, March 2025.
I paid first, last, and security. So March, I did not put up anything because I paid first, last, and security to move in.
Okay. So then that was my next question. When you first moved in, did you pay first, last, and security?
Yes,
And the landlord is still holding on to last and security?
yes.
And what was the amount that you paid the landlord upfront?
When I moved in,
Yes.
what would that be? 3450, I believe.
Okay. When you moved into the property, did you receive a certificate of renter suitability?
Yes,
And did you receive a lead safe certificate?
yes,
Okay. And just to be clear, that was when you first moved in?
yes.
Okay. You filed this complaint with Fair Housing alleging ending the lease with open LNI violations and also retaliation. Did you contact licenses and inspections?
Yes.
Okay, I do see that we do have LNI reports that are currently, they were in violation. Okay, let me just start over. On the LNI report is CF 2024-010710. It was found on February the 9th, 2024, but now they are all marked complied.
Yes, I believe Ellen and I came to my house maybe a week ago
Okay.
or last.
Given that you stated that you were moving out of the property and releasing possession to the tenant, what is it that you are seeking from Fair Housing today?
I lived in unsafe conditions for a very long time. I notified the landlord on multiple opportunities to come and fix certain issues in the house. He failed to respond. Or he, as I could say, maybe the landlord put a band-aid on a problem and the problem was not fixed, or I had to handle it myself. Um, Multiple times. From squirrels taking over the house, I had to pay to get that handled because he did not respond to me. To electrical issues in my kids' back two bedrooms. He did not respond to that. Went on for 6+ months to finally recently, after I was given my 60-day notice, did he come out and now finally fix the electrical issues in the back two bedrooms. I was using electrical cords to get electricity to my back two bedrooms, which is, by the way, is not safe.
Okay, so just so that we can focus the testimony that we are going to be hearing from you, it sounds to me like you are saying that you are asking for a reduction in rent or an abatement for the rents that you have not paid.
Yes. Because of the unsafe conditions, I had to leave the property on multiple occasions and go stay with family because it wasn't safe to be here, especially when the squirrels took over my house in February 2024. I was out of the house for 2 to 3 months because there were squirrels in my house.
Okay, so just so that we can narrow this down and for clarity, of what we are going to be discussing. For what months are you asking for an abatement, aka a reduction of rent?
Pretty much the months that I did not pay. I feel like he only gave me the 60-day notice is because I was reporting him. He wasn't fixing the property. So if I asked multiple times for the landlord to come fix the property and he didn't do so, why should I be paying rent if I'm not in a house because you're not fixing the problems?
Okay, so when did you report to the landlord the issues that you were having?
Um, it all started to hear. Well, the squirrel issue happened in the beginning of 2024, and it started happening again in January. January of 2024 is when I started hearing all the sounds in the wall and whatnot. I explained to him I had to pay to get everything done. He said he closed the hole up in the roof, and he basically gave me a new floor in the kitchen. Um, that was all he did. I told him I'm still hearing squirrel sounds. That was maybe April. And here we are a whole nother year later. He just finally fixed whatever he said was going on in the roof, but he told me he didn't close the hole. He basically put a trap there so they can't get in, but they could get out.
Okay, so you're having issues with rodents or animal
Yes,
presence. Okay, what is the other habitability issue that
the
you asked the
electrical
landlord about?
the
Okay,
electrical issues. The lights turn on and off throughout the day. He came out multiple times and said, maybe y'all have too much plugged in on the rooms. I have little children.
so before you get into that, when did you report this to the landlord?
Um, Maybe 6+ months ago.
You need to
I
provide me with
see.
an exact month and year.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Maybe April of 2024.
Okay, so you reported electrical issues to the landlord around April of 2024.
Yes, I explained to him that we would come home from work. I would come home from work and the lights would be off in the back two bedrooms. I would literally maybe hit the circuit breaker and it would turn back on. And then one day I came home and they just would not turn back on at all. And I told him about this again February 3rd, it looks like, of 2025. He said he was going to come out and fix it. I don't think that got fixed until maybe a week later, but LNI by that point had been called because I was in my house for such a long period, maybe a week without any electricity in my back bedroom. And we were using electrical, what are they called? Extension cords. LNI came out, seen the extension cords, and told me to unplug them and that was not safe to do so. So I went to stay with my mom until the electric issues was handled. He recently just came out to the property and fixed the electrical.
Okay, what were the other habitability issues that you reported to the landlord?
There was a sewage smell coming from the basement, and it was causing the entire house to smell like sewage.
And when did you report that to the landlord?
Um, Off the top of my head, I'm looking for text messages. Hold on. I sent all of this over to you guys. Oh, I don't. Off the top of my head, I'm not
Right.
sure.
The way that this works is that you need to provide us with the testimony. We are not going to just read through evidence that has been submitted. You need to tell us what's going on.
It looks like January 23rd.
Of 2024, 2020, what year did that occur?
Looks like this year.
Okay.
Where is it? Yes.
Were there any other habitability issues? that you report to the landlord?
The water in the bathroom was not getting hot. I told him that in the bathtub in January 23rd also of this year.
I'm sorry, the water.
Initially, the water in the bathroom was not getting hot at all. That was January 23rd, 2025. And he said that maybe the pipes was frozen. Then I told him that the water wasn't, that I was getting any water at all from the bathtub. That just transpired a week ago. He just came out to fix that March 23rd, 2025.
Okay, so that started in March of 2025.
January is when I first reported to him that I was having problems with my tub. January 23rd, 2025. He fixed the issue March 23rd, 2025.
Okay, just so that we are all clear, you're stating that you did not have access to hot water
No,
in the bathtub.
no, that's not what I'm stating. What I'm saying to you is on January 23rd, 2025, I told him that I was getting no water from the bathtub. And when I was getting water, there was no hot water. He said that the pipes could have been frozen. That's why it wasn't coming out. The water did start working again, but he never came out to look and access the problem. The problem kept happening. It was to the
Okay.
point where I stopped getting water, period, from the bathtub. And he came out on March 23rd, 2025 to actually fix the problem. Now I get hot water and the water is coming out the bathtub.
Okay, so the issue with no water / no hot water, was that limited to the hot tub, or did you have no hot water in the bathroom generally?
I had no hot water in my bathroom at all, but I was only not getting any type of water from out of the bathtub. I was getting hot water everywhere else in the house, but I was not getting any hot water in the bathroom. But I wasn't getting no water at all, hot, cold, anything from the tub in general.
Okay, are there any other issues that you reported to the landlord?
The smoke detectors, he just put those in. What day did he put those in? Also March. Oh, he put them in on March 24th, 2025.
Any other issues?
Off the top of my head at the moment, I don't know. I don't think so. I know. For me, it was mostly the failure of being able to answer his phone. He never answered his phone. He never fell through with anything. I had to pay out of my pocket for the squirrels. That was like the biggest thing for me. And then living in a house with electrical issues is. I have 4 children. It's
Okay,
very.
did you present your landlord with any invoices regarding the pest removal from the premises?
I told him how much it cost. I believe I sent him all of that stuff.
And what was the
I
amount that you paid out of pocket in order to have the pest removed?
I want to say I spent $400 or $500 to the pest control, not to mention money that I spent on trying to figure it out myself at first, traps, baits, and then the amount of damage done inside my house. In reference to, like, I have pictures of everything eaten through
So I can
downstairs.
tell you right now, we're not going to be able to address any damages done to your personal property. This would not be the forum for that.
Okay.
But you can provide us information of any out-of-pocket expenses that you may have engaged in order to remedy the issue of the pests.
Okay. If you can allow me a second, I can look into my thing to look at how much I gave the pest control.
Okay, thank you. Did you provide that to the landlord at all?
I'm pretty sure I did.
And did your landlord credit you any of the amounts that you paid out of pocket to remove the pests from the premises?
No, all I told him was that the 3 months that I was not able to stay in my house, I said it's not fair for me to pay rent. He never said nothing about it. When I finally moved back in the house, once the pest control was handled and he fixed the floor in the kitchen, by the way, that's all he did. I just gave him the rent money from there on out. He never said nothing to me about paying me back. I guess he assumed for the 3 months that I wasn't allowed to be in my house because of the squirrel that was just supposed to be what it was. But he never said nothing to me about anything. Never,
Okay,
because he was never.
just so that we can go back, because I don't believe I heard the testimony about you being out of the premises for 3 months.
Yes, the squirrels
What,
became.
what months are you referring to?
I want to say it was December 2023. Right after Christmas is when I noticed that some of my property was being eaten through. He came out. I told him that it was not mice because that's what he said it was initially.
No, no,
And
I just want to know the months that you,
December, and I moved back. I came back home. I want to say February, like the last week of February. It was after Valentine's Day.
so this is not the months December, January, February, and March of 2024 through 2025. This is
No, this
December
is
2023.
23. Yes. He allowed me to leave my house, no care in the world, never helped me got rid of the squirrels that was taken over because of holes in his ceiling, in his roof. He allowed
Okay.
me to figure that all out on my own. Never asked nothing. He texted me and said, "Did you get them out?" That's literally what he texted me.
Okay. Is there anything more that you need to tell us at this time before we move on to the landlord?
Um, just if I'll come back to dynamite pest. I have to look for how much I paid the pest control initially, and for the supplies I spent to get the squirrel out, I would have to look for that. I'm doing that now though.
Okay, then while you're doing that, I'm going to move on to the landlord.
Okay.
Can I just ask the tenant a question regarding the smoke detectors? Were you without smoke detectors or were they repaired? And how long were you without detectors or not working smoke detectors?
There was 0 smoke detectors in my house. He just put smoke detectors in my house on March 24th, 2025. I had one smoke detector. I'm sorry, I won't say 0. I had one smoke detector at the top of my steps in my hallway. Other than that, I had no smoke detectors in my house the entire time I lived here. He just placed them on March 24th, 2025.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, who will be speaking for the landlord?
I'm kind of more I do the rent. My husband does the maintenance, but I have 1 hour off work that I took for the call. So I would like to say a couple things in
Okay,
response to.
so before you do that, I need to understand what is the balance of rent that, from the landlord's perspective, the tenant owes?
I did email that. I apologize that I didn't know you guys were gonna not, I didn't know you were not gonna look through my email. I have it all stated in the email I sent. So I don't have that in front of me, but I know it's been, we waived February of 2024 for her, which would have been over $1,000 so that she could pay for the pest. And I have proof of that in email, and we never received any receipts from her for anything. We just gave it to her, trusting that she was going to, do that. And pest and rodent is not required in our lease. So I know she didn't pay that month, February 2024, but we said that's fine. And then since then, there's been, she hasn't paid since November. So December would have started. So since December, she hasn't paid. And then she also didn't pay a few months back in that date of February 2024, but that's in the email I sent you guys. I would have to pull that up and I can provide that,
Okay, we need information regarding the licenses for this property.
I sent it. It's in the email I sent you guys. The license is now renewed. The only reason it was not active for like about 2-3 weeks was because of the L&I complaints, and I did not know about them. So as soon as I found out, we talked to L&I and everything, and then I got the rental license renewed, and I sent a copy of that to you guys to Alexis, I believe.
Okay, so just to be clear, in order, if there is a gap with the license and the tenant and you are asking for rent for that particular month, we need to see a license that corresponds with the month that you are seeking rent from the tenant. So if
We
you
will
have,
waive that month. We
I'm
will
sorry?
waive that month. We will waive the month that the license was inactive for 3 weeks. So that would have been January. We were fine with waiving that month.
We need to see the license prior to this one.
Oh, you need the previous license. Okay, yeah, I can send that. I can look for it and email it now, or I can send it after the call.
Okay.
Is it okay for after the call, or do you
Yeah,
want me to
that's,
find it now?
no, that is fine after the call.
Okay.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay,
The tenants also testify that when she moved in, she paid first, last, and security.
that's correct.
Okay, so you're still holding on to the last month's rent and also the security deposit.
Correct.
And the amount is $2,300.
2,300 for first, last, and security total.
No,
It
no,
would
no,
have been
no.
about,
Just,
okay,
just last and security.
yes, that's correct.
Do we have a copy of your lead certificate?
Yes, I sent that in the email to Alexis.
So I only have the certificate of rental student, but let me double check before I talk, but
Okay, and if it's not, I can send
Okay.
that as well.
yeah, I don't. I only have the certificate and the current rental license. So
Okay, it was supposed to be in that packet. We have a property company that does all our paperwork, so I'll get that from them and send it to you if it wasn't in that packet.
sounds good.
Okay, so you heard the testimony of the tenant. Primarily, she is seeking an abatement or a reduction in rent for the months that she claims she reported repairs that affected the habitability of her residence in your property. What, if any, response do you have to her allegations?
I'll respond first and then I'll just let my husband take over since he'll speak to all the maintenance stuff. But like I said, we did waive February of 2024 when that stuff was going on because she did express some expenses that she was accruing. And that was over $1,000. So we figured that would be enough. But on our lease, there's a box checked off that us as the landlord are not responsible for pest and rodent. So we were even doing that as a courtesy. We gave her 1 month free, because we thought, we just felt bad, even though it wasn't required in the lease. So we did give her that. And that's pretty much, and we never did get any receipts. I don't have anything. We also emailed her about the late rent and whatnot. And I have in the email, she responded it was because she was out of work. She didn't say that it was because of anything with the maintenance or anything like that. So that was all we saw in writing from her stating why she wasn't paying rent. And I forwarded that to you guys as well. And, we've tried to be, as fair as possible. We don't believe, we've rented that property now for 7-8 years. We've never had one L&I complaint. We also rent another property, not one L&I complaint. This is the first time we've ever received that. And so I'll pass it over to my husband to speak about maintenance and those other items.
Can I say something? No?
No, ma'am, you
Okay.
have another opportunity to come back to you.
Okay.
Pete,
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know. What do you want to know? Hello?
So she talked about, so the tenant reported issues with squirrels, the electrical, a sewage smell in the basement, water in the bathroom issues, and smoke detectors. So any response you have to those would be
Yeah,
helpful.
well, let's start with the smoke detectors. When I rented the house, it came with I had all the smoke detectors were in there.
No, it was not. Don't do that.
Now,
I know.
please,
Ma'am, you
let
can't
the,
interrupt.
you cannot interrupt.
I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry.
I mean,
Go ahead.
that's one thing. What else? I mean, the squirrels with yeah, the first time, it was a little bit of a fiasco with that, but I mean, I did go over there and help out. I was over there a bunch of times, like I didn't do anything.
You're referring to first time. Can you tell us when was the first time?
I mean, I don't have any dates in front of me. It would be in that February or January of last year.
Were you aware of the tenant moving out for 3 months?
No. She told me that her kids had to go stay at her mom's house for a couple weeks. She never said that she moved out for a few months.
Regarding the electrical issue, can you address that?
There was no electrical issues with the house. Um,
So the tenant never,
he did complain about electrical issues, but I never found any problems with it.
okay, so
So,
you never made any repairs regarding the
No,
electric?
no, we didn't do any repairs to the electrical. I mean, I went over there and disconnected some outlets and stuff, but we really didn't do anything. No.
Did you address any issues regarding,
I
the
did
water,
I did fix.
issues in the
She said
bathroom?
she called me up and said that the hot water wasn't working. When I went over there the next day or the same day, all the water was on. So I mean, there's nothing I can fix. And then she did call me the other week or two ago about the shower, and I came out the next day and fixed it. Or, I mean, most of the problems I fixed within a reasonable amount of time. It's not like I let it sit for months and fester.
Okay. Okay, so regarding, do you have any other, statements you want to make regarding, the habitability of your tenant in this property?
I mean, I don't know. No.
There's nothing else you said?
No, I mean, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, if this, that's it.
Okay, I believe that the tenant wanted to make, um, we're gonna give both parties the opportunity to add any additional information unless commissioners have any additional questions of the parties. We will allow them to make last statements or final statements.
Yes. This is the tenant.
Yes, you may go on then.
Yes, in reference to the property having smoke detectors prior to when I moved here, um, you can walk around the house and see that there's no evidence of any type of smoke detector being here. Um, I feel dumb on my behalf that I did not say anything sooner, being that my house burned down prior to this, and I should have been more aware of smoke detectors. But there was no smoke detectors here. I am the only adult in the house, so in reference to um like smoke detectors going off while cooking, it just honestly, to be honest, it was out of sight, out of mind. I honestly didn't start paying attention to the fact that there were no smoke detectors at all until I started coming home and the electrical was going out. That's when I was like, oh gosh, like, why is the electrical going out? This could be it could start an electrical fire. Hence me noticing that there were no smoke detectors. In reference to the squirrels, I understand that in my lease it does say that they does not handle pest control. That is true. But if a pest like a squirrel get into my house from a hole in a roof, how would that be my fault? And the landlord initially, when he found out and I started sending
Okay, ma'am,
photos.
we understand that. We do not need to hear it again. Any other information that we need to hear that we have not heard?
Yes. Also, when I moved out for the 3 months, I did tell the landlord in December that I couldn't stay at the property because the squirrel was literally inside of my home. It was not 2-3 weeks. I wasn't here at all the month of January, and I did not come back home until the end of February. They knew all of that.
Okay, thank you. Landlord, which one of you would like to give us any last summary of information that we need to know before we adjourn?
I'll go first. I don't know if my husband has anything, but yeah, I mean, like I said, we waived February, and like we're willing to waive this past January while the license was inactive due to her L&I complaints. We're definitely willing to waive those 2 months. But and we've never been paid. That was something else we didn't mention. The water's never been paid since she's lived there either. And we had the agreement that she would pay a fixed rate monthly because she didn't know how to get the water in her name. We gave her several months to get we've had plenty of tenants at our properties. They've never had a problem getting the water in their name. So then after that, we said as a courtesy, we would allow her to just pay an even $100 a month for the water, which is, some landlords do the water included in rent. And we've never received any money from her. I mean, maybe early in the beginning, but for at least for the last year, we've been paying for the water as well. So, we just feel like it would be fair to give her 2 months. That's over $2,000. And we already did credit that month. And I have that in the email showing that was sent to her, that we were crediting that 1 month for her. So, and then drains also, I don't know, my husband can speak to the drains. There was something where he fixed the drains, and that's also in the lease that, if they clog the drain and it's due to something that they did, that, they would be responsible. And again, my husband can speak to that, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. Are there any questions from commissioners before we,
No questions.
Okay, so at this time, we're going to be taking this matter under advisement because we need the landlord to provide us with the previous rental licenses and also a copy of the lead certificate. If you could also send us the amount, a ledger with the amount of money that you believe the tenant owes. Please do include whatever credits you've given to the client, so we have a clear understanding exactly of what months are in dispute.
Yes, I'll provide that.
Ali, I don't know if any additional information is needed beyond that.
That's all I have, Commissioner.
Okay, so with that, then, as I stated earlier, we're going to take this matter under advisement. Tenant, if you do leave the property, do communicate that to us when that does occur. With that, then, this hearing is adjourned. Are there any questions?
No.
Nope.
Okay, parties are free to leave then. Thank you.